Hello, everyone. What is up? Welcome to the free training on how to make 2023 the year that you show up and do the freaking things. I'm so excited to have you guys here. As you're trickling in, you can go ahead and say hey in the chat. I have us all muted, but you can say hey in the chat. I don't think you'll be able to see the chat via the replay, but still say hey, what's up? I'm so excited to have everybody here. This is our biggest free training yet. This is the biggest group of people we're going to be having. And I'm so excited to get into all of the things. So while people are trickling in, I am going to go ahead and get up the presentation. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Casey. I'm going to do a little introduction in a second, but let's see, share screen. How are we doing out there? Here we go. I'm so excited to be here today. Present. Oh my gosh, this is my favorite thing to talk about ever. So we are going in on it, everybody. We are going in today. Hello, hello. I'm seeing everything pop up in the chat. I'm going to try to keep both of these up and be able to see what you guys are saying. If you have questions as we go through the presentation, if there's anything you want to discuss particularly, please either put the hand up in the Zoom box or just feel free to type it out in the chat. I want to make this as interactive as possible. And for those of you on the replay, you guys can still ask me questions. Head over to Instagram at KZ Rose Coaching. I would love to support you in any way possible. This stuff is my jam. It lights me up and it's so fun to talk about. And I really want to be able to support you in making an impact in your life, having you achieve the goals that you want to achieve. So without further ado, let's freaking get into it. Welcome to the Body Love Method. Today, we are going to be talking about how to go from the self-judgment, the discouragement, the shame, the guilt, all of that we're currently feeling in our body to move towards a more healthy relationship with ourselves, self-love, confidence, empowerment, showing up as the version of you that you want to be without making everything around our freaking bodies and how we look or don't look in a bathing suit, right? Because isn't that exhausting? Raise your hand if you want to let go of that. Right? Don't you want to just be able to exist without everything fixating or focusing on the number on the scale? My hands are up. That's exhausting. We don't need to live like that anymore. Same with our relationship with food. We're going to talk about that today a little bit because I know for me in the past, my entire life revolved around that. What I was going to eat or what I wasn't going to eat, or the fact that I would have to prep meals ahead of time, or that I would have to look up the menu at a restaurant ahead of time because I'd be scared to eat the things because I thought they were going to make me fat, which equals unworthy, which equals that whole negative shame cycle that goes on in our heads, right? The other thing that we're really going to talk about today, hey guys, saying hey in the chat. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay. The other thing we're going to talk about today is self-sabotage. So more likely than not, I'm assuming that you have tried things in the past in order to love your body more. Maybe you do have a weight loss goal. Maybe you have a fitness goal and you've probably tried in the past, but has it stuck, right? Has it actually worked? Has it followed through? And I'm going to guess more likely than not, if you're here within this free training, which is okay. Remember guys, no self-judgment, but there's a reason that it's not working. And that reason is what we're going to talk about today. My favorite topic ever, the subconscious mind. When we have a belief that we can't do it, when we have a subconscious upper limit, we will self-sabotage ourselves every single time because something about that new identity, that new goal, whatever it is that you desire, it doesn't feel safe to us. So we self-sabotage to bring ourselves back down to normal. Okay. Are we excited? I'm going to try. Can I hide this? I don't know if you guys can even see this, but hide floating meeting controls. All right, there we go. All right, let's get into it. Okay. So a little bit about me. If you guys don't know me, my name is Casey. I'm a fitness coach, self-love coach, mindset. I do all of the things. My background is actually in all things human movement. I went to school for exercise physiology, athletic training, got my master's in health and human performance, cardiac rehab, sports nutrition, all of the things to do with that. And I actually started my own fitness business years ago. And then I transitioned more into the mindset work that we're going to talk about today because the two go hand in hand. And I also noticed this heavily when working with collegiate athletes, how heavy the mindset aspect ties in, but it is the aspect that is mostly glossed over, right? I don't think it's ever addressed enough. All we are doing is these cycles of up and then down and up and down, and nobody is really addressing how to break those cycles. But today I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay. So a little bit about me. This is me in both pictures. First thing I want to say, I am sharing these pictures so that it can feel relatable and so that you understand that I was there and that I get it and that I struggled with self-love. I'm not someone who's just preaching these things who never experienced it. I went through it. But the thing I want to say before I talk about my journey is I can look at these pictures on the left now, and I have so much love for that girl beforehand. I look at those pictures now and wish that in the moment I felt loved and I felt okay and I felt worthy, because I was, but I shamed my body so much. I hated how I looked before when I was in that mindset, right? All I was ever trying to do was lose weight so that I could feel okay being a, member of society. I thought that I wasn't good enough. I thought that people wouldn't like me. I thought that people judged me. I was so controlling with the number on the scale, what I would put into my body. And it never really did anything for me. I lived a way unhealthier lifestyle, especially up in my mind in the previous photos. And I'm going to tell you the secret sauce to how I got where I was now. But the reason I'm saying this, wherever you're at right now is where you're at. This presentation is not about weight loss. It's not about changing your body in order to become worthy. It's learning that you're worthy before you lose the weight, before you change your body, before anything else happens. My whole function as the person that I am, the coach that I am, is to throw away the scale, to no longer have a meal plan and count your macros and do all that. I got to where I am now by saying a big F you to all of that. Can anybody relate? You guys can go ahead and say in the chat. Guys, I don't do that. I got to where I am now, and we're going to talk about it by literally throwing all of that out the window, and no longer, I didn't even focus on it anymore. I just said, I'm not doing this. I am going to just live my life and see what happens. I'm going to talk to that in a second. So let's just go back on the left-hand side. I think it'll be the left for you guys. My before, right? Even though I look different there, I had more weight on me there. This is when I was at the peak of my dieting, the extreme dieting. Extreme restriction, but then that led to extreme binging, extremely unhealthy relationship with food, body dysmorphia, looking in the mirror and actually not even being able to look in the mirror because I hated the hate that I can still almost feel in my body towards how I thought that I looked, right? Insane workout regimens. On the left, guys, I was working out for 2 hours a day and I still looked like that. There's nothing wrong with how I looked, but I'm saying it doesn't look like I was putting an effort. And why? Because I was doing the wrong kinds of things and I was doing it from a place of shame, right? When you shame your body, when you work out from a place of shame because you hate your body and because you hate yourself, that is not the secret sauce. Now on the right, where I am now, like who I am today, I work out maybe 3 to 4 times a week, maybe. And they are quick at-home workouts. This is why I'm actually currently in the midst of launching the Body Love Method workout plan. It's an at-home workout. They're only 25 minutes, guys. They're so fun. They're quick. They're easy. They're simple. They're at home. You probably already have the equipment that you need. And that's it. And it's fun. I do it because I like to move my body, not because I want to look that way in the swimsuit, right? It's great. And I feel confident and I love that. But I guarantee I could still feel just as confident if my body looked different, because it's a mindset. It's an energy to be that confident. It's an energy to love yourself so completely and fully that you don't give a shit anymore. And I want to say give a shit like you're just like, fuck it, I don't care if I am unhealthy. It's more of just like, you know that your worth isn't dependent on it anymore. That's what we're going to talk about, okay? Back on the left, no confidence, constant comparison to others, negative self-talk, the self-judgment. Raise your hands, guys. When I looked in the mirror every single morning, it was immediately like a shit fest on myself. You have too many belly rolls. Your arms are so big. You can't wear that top because your back fat is going to show if you wear that kind of bra with that top, right? Why is your face so puffy? Your eyes are so like they have bags under them because you didn't sleep and like blah, 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 right? If you're there, it's okay. I'm sending you love, but we're going to get rid of that today. Okay. Now, fast forward to who I am now. Right? These pictures were just a few months ago. I live in Hawaii, very lucky. So the beach is a constant thing for me, which I would like to say in the past, when I first moved to Hawaii, I was scared shitless because I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be on the beach all year round. Like I have to be okay to be in a bathing suit. It's the most freeing thing in the world to be able to eat lunch now and just go to the beach, even though I don't even though I might have a little bit of a poof. Right? Like, I don't care anymore. In the past, I would starve myself before going to the beach because I had to make sure my stomach looked flat. You don't care anymore. Okay. That is honestly, this freedom of it is why I'm preaching the method. Anyway, here I am in Hawaii, food freedom. I have zero meal plan. I count 0 calories. I do not focus on macros. I have a completely balanced approach to everything in my life now, both nutrition wise and exercise wise. I eat what I want when I want it. If my husband says, let's go out to dinner, even though we ate out the past 3 nights, I'm not sitting there thinking, oh my God, well, that means I have to do an extra workout tomorrow because I'm going to gain weight if I eat out again, or there's too much blank, blank, blank. Like I just focus on eating whole foods and loving my body and enjoying life. Okay. Confidence in my body, regardless of what it looks like. short at home 25-minute workouts. And if you guys are interested in those, if you're like wanting something like that, stay tuned. You guys can message me because I am having that 3-month plan come out. I'm so excited for that. And no more comparing myself to others, right? I think that was the thing that really hurt my self-esteem back before I changed my body, which we've got to do it first. But it was walking on the beach and seeing how good other girls looked in bathing suits and seeing that they had 6-packs and seeing that they had no arm flab or no tummy rolls, or they sat down and they didn't have any pooch, right? Also, I want to tell you, pictures can be deceiving. Like, those pictures look great, but if I leaned forward and just changed the angle of my body, I absolutely have belly rolls. I have arm flab. I have the back like stuff above my bra strap. Like, we're still human, okay? I just want you to realize that you're enough. These pictures I'm only sharing because it's my journey. However you're looking, watching this right now is fine. You are good enough. It's more than okay. Like, you are where you are and it's perfect. And I just want you to really take that in, okay? All this to say, what was my aha moment? So more before for me. I was in complete control mode, restriction, binging, like negative self-talk, all of that, right? And it didn't work. I did that for 10 years, guys, up and down and self-sabotage and yo-yo diet and negative self-talk. And it was just this vicious cycle, which I'm sure a lot of you can relate to, right? So this is when I literally had this like come to Jesus, threw my hands up in the air and I was like, I'm done. I am fucking done. I am done dieting. I am done not like missing out on food and drinks because I am so concerned about how my body's going to look. I was done. And mostly I was exhausted of something not working. And I had this aha moment of like, okay, being mean to myself, going on every diet plan in the book, weighing myself every single day, working out for 2 hours a day, it's not working. All the things that you're told you're supposed to do, they weren't working for me. And I was sick of it. So I literally said, fuck it. And I'm just going to live my life. I am going to eat what I want to eat. I'm going to work out like because I love my body and because I really do like to lift weights from time to time. And I liked to move my body in the gym. But I didn't make it a 2-hour a day, 7-day a week thing anymore. I did it a few times a week. I started with walking. And most of all, I did the mindset work. I realized that my identity was the reason that I was where I was. Because all I was ever doing is waking up, looking in the mirror, saying, I hate that I look like this. I can never change. It's not in the cards for me. I've tried everything. Newsflash, guys, if we say that in the mirror to ourselves every morning, that's what we're going to continue to experience. We cannot change until we break the identification. So if that's where you're at right now and you're struggling to love your body, you're struggling to reach your fitness goals or to lose weight, whatever it is that your goal is, if you're struggling, it's because you're saying the same things and believing the same thoughts every single day. Nothing changes if nothing changes. If you guys follow me on Instagram or TikTok, you know I say that every other word. How do we expect to change if we don't ever do anything different? If you have a belief, we're going to go into this in a second. Those beliefs in your subconscious mind dictate everything. All this to say, I literally just gave up on everything else I had been taught and I just loved myself. I was like, you know what? I'm sick of being mean to myself. I'm going to love myself even with my tummy rolls. I'm going to love myself even when I can't fit into the clothes that I used to wear when I was a competitive gymnast 20 years ago. Like, I just stopped it and I was like, I'm going to just exist. I'm going to buy a bigger size because it fits my body. I'm going to love myself completely because this is where I'm at. And shame and judgment and guilt doesn't feel good. I said, fuck that. Okay. Is anybody with me? Are we feeling similarly here? Okay. If you can resonate, I was there and I was at the breaking point where I said, this isn't going to work. I cannot do this forever. Okay. So if you're there, I got you. Are we ready to get into it? Since this aha moment, I lost 20 pounds fast. I don't want to say fast and like that I lost it in a week, but when I stopped focusing on losing weight, all of a sudden it just like went away. And why? Because I no longer shamed myself for having it. That is deep shadow work. If you're interested in shadow work, we're going to kind of talk about where you can learn more about that in a second or later in the presentation. Shadow work, the premise of that is identifying the parts of you that you currently shame, like your deepest, darkest secrets, loving them so they feel safe and they can be integrated, and then they no longer affect your life anymore. That's what is happening here with our bodies. When we judge and shame, it produces more judgment and shame. So the fact that I was no longer getting on the scale and hating myself every day, all of a sudden the weight was like, oh, doesn't matter. She's not thinking about us anymore. So I guess we're free to go now, right? And it did. It went away because I was no longer making it mean something about me. I was no longer making it mean that I was a failure, that I wasn't good enough, that I would never get into a relationship, that my parents weren't proud of me, that blah, 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 blah. Didn't care anymore. I still don't, right? And that's what's working. So no longer overkill in the gym, balance with those workouts, those at-home workouts. I freaking love these 25 minutes. They're quick, they're fun, they're exciting. Like, I love that. I no longer stress about food. And I think that's the biggest part of this journey that has been beneficial to me, is that I have food freedom. I do not think about the food when we go out to eat. I don't think about when I eat a bag of chips late at night that it's going to ruin all my progress and that I'm a bad person and that I have to over-exercise the next day. I can go to a birthday party and eat pizza or cake or have a beer without thinking that I'm like the worst person in the world, right? If you're there, please know it doesn't have to be that way, okay? Got a hair on my face. It gets to be different. The balanced lifestyle that I live now is the best part of all of this, hands down. Better than the fact that I love my body and like all of that. That's great, but the balance is what it is. And I finally walk into a room focused on me and loving me and knowing that I'm just like, I'm me and I love it. And I'm not concerned about other people anymore. I'm not sizing myself up to the other pretty girls in the room thinking, oh, I wish I could wear the shirt that she was wearing, or, oh, like, she's so like, she's got such a great smile. She's so confident. I wish I could be confident. I don't do that anymore. I walk into the room and I cheer them on and I'm like, she is confident. You go, girl, but not because I'm not. I'm not doing it out of a shame for myself. I'm doing it because I love to cheer other people on, because I know that none of it means anything about me. I am who I am and I love that. And that's what I want for you guys. My entire life no longer revolves around my weight, around what my body looks like, and around controlling food and movement, right? It was exhausting. Every single day I woke up and that was the first thought in my mind, all day, every day. That is exhausting. And if you are there, I have a solution for you. Let's freaking get into it. So you're in the right place. All that to say, thank you for sticking around for that TED Talk. You're in the right place if you're sick of judging yourself and feeling unconfident in your body, right? Raise your hand and say in the chat if this is all resonating. I'm seeing some things pop up, guys. I know that we get this. You feel trapped in the toxic cycle of diet culture, crazy exercise plans, fad diets. You're sick of hearing about keto. You're sick about hearing about Atkins. You're sick about hearing about veganism, like all of that. Okay. To each their own. Also, guys, I'm going to share my opinion and what worked for me. You can do what works best for you, but I'm just sharing that balance is what changed my life. I do not preach any strict meal plan, any strict way of life at all. I think balance is the way to go, but that's just me. Okay. You feel like you've tried everything and nothing ever works. So this one I really want you to pay attention to, because I want you to think about how exhausted you are of trying new things and nothing sticking, right? Are you done trying something new and then only to be back to your old patterns 2 weeks later? Right? It's just like New Year's resolutions. Everybody's in the gym January 1st. Come March 1st, crickets, right? There's a reason for that. Those people aren't doing the mindset work yet, and that's okay. But if you don't think that you can be that person, you won't be that person. Simple as that. Okay. You desperately desire to feel comfortable and confident in your own body. You just don't believe it's possible. Hands up. You're ready to release the comparison, the judgment, the fear of what other people are thinking of you. Hell to the yeah. And you're ready to do the work the effective way to break out of the toxic cycle of shame, judgment, and self-sabotage. That's the other thing, guys. I don't want to make this presentation to be under the assumption that this work is sunshine and rainbows. The mindset work, without a doubt, is the hardest fucking thing I've ever done in my life. Having to stare at the deepest, darkest parts of you that you are ashamed of, having to love your body, even if it doesn't look like you want it to look yet, it's hard. It's not easy. It is not like a light switch that goes off overnight that you look in your mirror and you're like, oh yeah, I love that I weigh this much. And I love that I can't fit into my old clothes. It takes time, but when it does click, it really does start to feel like the sunshine and rainbows. But to get there, you have to be willing to do the work. I say that now because the stuff that we're going into in the next few slides is heavy. It's deep. It's a lot. I understand if you need to pause it. I understand that if you need to come back to this when you feel ready, but I like to say ahead of time that there is work required of you to do this. Okay. It gets to be in a way that feels good, and it gets to be in a way where you're challenging yourself. It gets to be tough, but it also gets to be effective. So I just like to put that out there first. Okay. What you'll learn why you're struggling with your relationship with your body, where these beliefs came from in the first place, the underlying reasons for your yo-yo dieting and your self-sabotage, tools you can implement today to start making these changes, and most importantly, how to love yourself in the now before you lose the weight. This masterclass, let me see where it is. What makes this work different is because we're starting with the mindset, the beliefs, and the identity. Every other program that's out there, meal plans, diet fads, diet culture, exercise plans, I have yet to see one that starts with your identity, the beliefs that you're currently operating out of, right? If I told you that you had to run a marathon in 2 months but you couldn't do any training, do you think you would believe in yourself to do that marathon? No. If I set you up with a world-class marathon coach, I bought you the most expensive sneakers, I put you on like the way to give your body nutrients, like then you would start to believe in it and be like, okay, I can do this because I have the right support, because I'm being the person who can do it. We have to shift our mindset. If you have been the same way for the last 20 plus years, you will continue to be that same way until we break a pattern, until we do something different. So that is why the things that you've tried in the past aren't working, because you're still operating as the identity that doesn't think it's possible. You're buying the workout plan and thinking, yeah, it's going to be really cool, I'm going to do it. And then a week later, you're like, I can't stick to this. It's not for me. It's not in the cards for me. And why? Because that's who you were when you started the program. You had a belief at the subconscious level, and you're just kind of like, it's almost like a leak. Like pretend you have a big swimming pool and there's like a little tiny leak. Instead of repairing the leak, we're just putting a piece of tape on it. We'll deal with you later. Here, just patching it up, right? We are actually, the work that I'm teaching you today, in this free training, we're going into the beliefs first. Because if you can become the person who's going to do it, you will do it, right? It sounds backwards, but it's actually the most effective way. Instead of throwing another diet plan in your face that you're going to fail at, we're starting at the root and identifying the reasons why your mind doesn't think it's possible. We're identifying the past experiences that validate that belief that it's not possible. No amount of diet and exercise is going to be effective in the long run if we do not address the beliefs of unworthiness and then the fears of failures and success underneath. That's what self-sabotage is. That's the function of our subconscious. And I'm getting way ahead of myself, but I just want to make that clear. You're in this training for a reason, but this is different and it's effective because it's different. This isn't you buying something online and hoping that it works. I'm telling you how to make it work. Okay? So close your eyes for a second. Close your eyes. Let's calm down. I know I bring a lot of energy. I'm always pretty amped up, but especially when I'm passionate about something, I want you to just close your eyes for a second, okay? And I want you to think about what your life would look like if you no longer had to struggle with your body. What if your entire world revolved around you just living your life in the moment without the thought in the forefront of your brain all the time that you're not skinny enough, that people won't like you because you've got some fluff on you, or that you can't eat something because you're going to have to over-exercise or because you'll gain weight from it? And keeping your eyes closed, what would it feel like if you woke up and felt good when you looked in the mirror? What would it feel like if you looked in the mirror and loved the woman staring back at you? What would it feel like to go to a birthday party and not fight in your head because you wanted a slice of birthday cake or pizza, but didn't think you were allowed to have it? You think you were bad for having it. What if you were good for having it? Or when your partner asks if you want to go out to eat and you don't immediately think, well, I didn't work out hard enough today, or I skipped the gym, so that means I'm going to have to work out extra hard tomorrow, or I'm going to have to skip my first 2 meals because I have to burn extra calories. I really want you to think about what it would feel like to have freedom. Okay? What would it feel like to have complete freedom and balance with the way you felt with your body, with food, and with movement? And now I just want you to think, this is the last question, why are you here? Okay? Why did you sign up for this training? Yes, it's free. Yes, you probably came to learn something, but really, why? What are you so sick of? Are you at your breaking point? Are you ready to draw a line in the sand and do something different? Everyone is here for their own reason, but we're all here because we want to be free from this. I get it. I was there, but that freedom is possible. So just feel that freedom again for another 15 seconds in your body. Being able to enjoy life without the constant freaking struggle. How good does that feel? You guys can go ahead and open your eyes. I just want you to jot down your why real quick. What is it that you want? Or what is it that you're so sick of and you're ready to be done with? I'm going to set timer 30 seconds. Go ahead and just write that down. You've tried everything and nothing is working. What if there was something that worked? Okay. And if you're still feeling skeptical, I get it. I used to have the thoughts of, must be nice. It works for her, but it can't work for me. I can't do it. It's too good to be true. She's just lucky. She just it just fell into her lap. Before you write it off, in all your years of the ups and the downs and the yo-yo dieting and the self-sabotage and the limit, all of that, have you ever learned about your subconscious mind, your mindset, and your identity? Have you ever done the work to stop the self-sabotage at a mindset level, not slapping a piece of tape on the pool because it's leaking? So just think about that as we move through this presentation. If those thoughts, because your mind's going to do it. Your mind's going to be like, oh, this bitch, she just got lucky. She just got lucky that she's sitting on a beach in Hawaii with a 6-pack. Newsflash, I did not get lucky. I made it happen for myself. But in order to make it happen to myself, I had to think in a different way. That girl in the before pictures, she thought she was a piece of shit. She didn't think she was good enough. She never thought that she would be in a healthy relationship. She never thought she would love her body. She never thought she would have what she desired. I had to heal that part of myself and I had to start thinking differently. I had to look in the mirror and say, I do love myself, even when I didn't. I had to be a different person. And now I am living a different life. Okay? I'm going to teach you how. But when those beliefs creep up, because they will, because you've thought them in the past, you've thought them for the last 20 years, I just want you to say, not today. I understand that you're here, but I'm just trying to learn. Your mind is not going to like this presentation because it's going to make your subconscious feel very uncomfortable. I am presenting things that we do not talk about. Okay? Your mind isn't going to like it. I'm asking that you stay open to it and really think about that why. That's why I wanted you to write it down. You just have to outweigh it, right? Is your why strong enough to want to listen to this uncomfortable information and then do something about it? Or do you want to stay where you're at? It's really about just weighing the pros and cons, and nothing's wrong with where you're at. But if you're unhappy, do you want to keep being unhappy? What if you could change your life 3 months from now? Right? And what I want to say for you is that the next 3 months are going to go by anyway. So what if you really said shh to those thoughts for just a second, even though it's hard, even though they're like knocking down the window? What if you're just like, I'm just going to try it. Like, fuck it. What do I have to lose? Literally, what do you have to lose to just maybe do this work, to listen to what I have to say? I'm giving you free action steps in this. You're going to get audio clips that you can do every single day for free. What do you have to lose? The next 3 months are going to go by anyway. And I'm telling you right now, the next 3 months are going to look like the last 3 months if you don't do anything about it. You're going to continue to wake up and hate yourself. You're going to, if that's what you're currently doing, you're going to continue to struggle with food if you never take the time to figure out why. Okay? I'm giving a little tough love because the version of me in the past needed that tough love. She wouldn't have gotten here where she is today if she didn't sit herself down and be like, okay, we got to fucking do something about this. I refuse to live the next 20 years of my life feeling this way. The biggest thing that hit me is I said, I refuse to be a mom that models to her child what it means to hate her body and what it means to grow up thinking that you're not good enough, right? I never want to carry these beliefs into motherhood. And I'm not saying that to make you feel like if you're a parent or you're a mother, I'm not saying that to make you feel bad. I'm saying that that was my why. And that was strong enough to make me start to think differently. Okay? So all that to say, bring back to that why. Imagine what life could feel like if you loved your body. Imagine what it would feel like to be your most confident self, to feel like you didn't need to compare yourself to others, to feel like you didn't need to worry about the freaking scale and your weight and food all the fucking time. It's exhausting. Okay. All right. So let's get into it. I already went over this slide. This work is different because of our mindsets, our belief, and our identity. Okay. Let's get into the meat and potatoes. If you guys have questions, please put them in the chat. I will pay attention as we go through. I haven't seen any questions come up yet, just more of like resonating. Once again, on the replay, I don't think you can see these, but please feel free to DM me. I'm here. I got you. I want to support you. Okay. Our conscious and our subconscious mind. So raise your hand. You can just like click the icon. Are we aware of what the conscious mind and subconscious are? Okay. Also, if you want to pull out a piece of paper, if you want to take notes, feel free. If you want to just absorb, that's great too. This stuff, it's fascinating and it matters and it can feel a lot sometimes. So I get it. If you want me to slow down, just let me know. Okay. Conscious mind. It's the tip of the iceberg that you're seeing in this picture. Okay. Conscious mind is it's 5% roughly of our active awareness. It's the mind that is in control when you are actively sitting there thinking about, what do I want for dinner tonight? Or, I'm really mad at my boyfriend that he did that. Or, I wonder, I have plans this weekend that I'm going out with my friends. So then you have to coordinate, right? It's the part that's actively in control. But the thing is, although we think that we're always just like operating as our conscious self, it's only 5% of our conscious awareness. Okay. The other 95%, the big iceberg under the surface here, that's our subconscious mind. Guys, your subconscious mind is responsible for 95% of your outer world, of your reality. 95%. Okay? So the reason that nothing is working in the past is because we're trying to attack it at a conscious level. Meanwhile, so you're trying to work on the top of the iceberg here, right? Meanwhile, you have this mountain underneath. So what is that mountain? It's accumulation of your past experiences. It's accumulation of anything that has happened. The ages of 0 to 7 is when you're conditioned to be who you are. Past experiences, emotions, trauma, conditions, beliefs, all of the things. They live, I just want you to think about it like a memory bank. It's a giant computer. And it's full of all of these old programs. Programs from when you were 2 years old, guys. Programs from when you were 3 years old and you watched your mom in the mirror shame and judge herself. These things are living in there. And the reason it's important to talk about our subconscious is because that below of the iceberg is what's causing you to feel the way that you do now. Okay? Your self-worth programming and all your programming. I'm just talking about self-worth here because I think self-worth is what we are tying to our bodies, right? The number on the scale. This belief system was created when you were 0 to 7 years old, guys. 7-year-old you. And then all of a sudden, we just acted that way. So it's pretty, you can still have new programs. It's 0 to 14, but really concrete from 0 to 7. So what's happening here? Your belief system, when you come onto this planet, you're like a sponge. You are a giant computer that is fresh out the packaging. There's no programs on it yet. Okay. And then from 0 to 7, early childhood, you are picking up everything from your world around you. You're a sponge and it's just absorbing and absorbing and absorbing. But it cannot differentiate. Little kids can't differentiate. Oh, that feels good. I want to believe that. Or, oh, that didn't feel good. I don't want to believe that. We can't accept or reject. We are on full acceptance mode. We are being taught what is right and wrong. We are being taught how to feel and how to think and all of that. Right? And the craziest part is at 7 years old, that has become all of the programs that you're currently still operating on today, right? So I'm 30 years old. And before I did this work, I was still operating as 7-year-old Casey that felt the way that she did about herself, her body, if she believed in herself or not, how she felt about the world, etc. Those programs take over and they start to operate on autopilot. Okay? So the reason I'm sharing this is because I want to make it very clear that it's not your fault necessarily that you are the way that you are. I want you to remember that you didn't come onto this planet judging yourself, right? You were not a baby in the hospital bed looking over at the other baby and being like, oh, her blanket's cuter than mine. Where did that come from? You were taught to feel that way, right? You didn't come onto this planet and think, I have a hard time loving my body. I really struggle to lose weight. So where did that come from? It came from a past experience when you were 5 and a kid at school made fun of you, or it came from when you were 3 and you watched your mom in the mirror judge herself, or her always say, I can't be in pictures because I'm too fat. So what did your mind do? It picked that up, and now it's a program underneath the surface, that bottom of the iceberg, controlling what's happening on the top of the iceberg. Okay? You were not taught to hate your body. You were not taught that there is something wrong with it, or I'm sorry, you did not come here thinking something was wrong with your body. You were taught to feel that way. Society has made you feel like you're not enough. Okay? I have so much to say on self-love. This is more about how to do the self-sabotage and the yo-yo part. But guys, your worth is inherent. And I say the whole thing about you coming to this planet because think about it. When did you start to think you were unworthy? You did not think you were unworthy before you were walking, right? So where did it come from? It's a condition that is still looping. This subconscious mind is what's controlling your outer reality. So the reason you don't believe it's possible is because you, from the ages of 0 to 7, watched people fail at it, right? Or you were taught that you weren't good enough, or you tried and you failed. So now that belief, because it has painful emotions, we're going to go to the emotions in a second, that's still in your body. So you're think about it as like a foundation. Your foundation right now is setting you up for failure because it's based on failing. It's based on past experiences where you've tried everything and nothing works. Well, of course, nothing else is going to continue to work because that is the program looping in your subconscious mind. Think about a computer with tabs open. The tabs that are open right now in your mind are tabs of unworthiness, tabs of limiting beliefs, tabs of thinking you're not the kind of person who can do it. Those tabs, the bottom of the iceberg, controls everything moving forward. So even though consciously you can say, I really want to love myself, I really want to believe in myself, I have this goal and it would feel so good to have that. If you have a tab open on the computer that says you can't have it, even though consciously you want it, your subconscious mind usually always wins out. It is so much bigger than that little tip of the iceberg on the surface. Okay? So your programming is what's making you feel like you can't have it. Your past experiences that have painful emotions attached to them, those emotions, guys, are still living in your body. Thoughts are the language of the mind, feelings are the language of the body. Your mind can consciously understand that you're not in 8th grade anymore with a bunch of mean girls saying that you're too fat. But guess what? That emotion, that shame, that guilt, that judgment, that self-hate, that emotion is still swirling around in your physical body, like in your cells. So of course, that's how you still feel because we haven't removed that emotion. We haven't removed the associated trauma or painful experience from our body. Your body can't understand time like the mind can. Your body doesn't realize that you're not in 8th grade getting made fun of anymore. All it realizes is that chemicals were released, you felt an emotion, and now that emotion is still looping. Does this make sense? I'm gonna look at the chat. Yes, makes sense. Okay, it seems like this is resonating, guys. The reason that I want to say this is because you've been taught to feel this. You have been taught to think that you're not good enough. You have a past experience where, yeah, maybe you failed once, or maybe you were almost good enough at something, but you never quite got there. That's become your belief. And now from these beliefs, guys, we have formed an identity. Okay. So I want you to go back to that picture of the iceberg. Underneath, that's your belief system. Okay. And from all of those beliefs, all of those past experiences, now you are the top of the triangle. You're acting as a product of those beliefs. So if the tabs, go back to the computer analogy, if the tabs that are open right now are tabs that you aren't good enough, that you always fail, that you're not that person, that you've always been overweight, that you've always yo-yo dieted, that is the way the computer is going to keep running. It has it has a function telling it, this is how we are. So we be it. Just like, so in identity, are you a smoker or aren't you a smoker? You are completely identified with like a persona. That's what I want you to think about identity. It's a persona. And it's because of these past experiences and these limiting beliefs, right? Are you identifying as a skinny person? Yes or no? If no, then you will never be that skinny person. And I'm only saying that because it's easy for our minds to understand. The goal is not to be skinny here, but are you confident or aren't you? Right? We have identities around this. And if I asked you to bring a confident person to mind, you could picture it so clearly. It's this accumulation of these personality traits. Like J-Lo comes to mind for me. She's confident. Nowhere in my mind do I not think that she's not confident. Like she just is. That's who she is. Okay? Let me know if I get too carried away here, if this feels like too much. Your reality today, right now, as you are watching this presentation, is a accumulation of your past programming. That is why anytime you try something new, so right now I want you to think about being in this box, okay? And now this is the new diet plan that's coming along. This is the new exercise planner. This is the new fitness coach that you're trying to work with. You're in this box, pretend this is my box. This person's coming in and trying to change you. underneath here is still looping of, I'm not good enough. I can't be that kind of person. That doesn't work for me. I've tried that in the past. I remember going gluten-free and it didn't help me. So it's going to reject it. It's not going to let it in. Okay. That is why when January 1st comes around, pretend this marker is January 1st. This is your fitness goal of being in the gym and doing an hour of cardio every day. Comes along and it's like, come do this. And you're like, okay, I'll try. A week later, you're like, fuck that. I am not the kind of person who goes to the gym. How many times have you said to yourself, I'm not the kind of person who blank? It's not in the cards for me. I've never been that way. Guys, these are all identification statements. The more you identify with something, the more you are perpetuating it. So every time you look in the mirror and say that you're not good enough, or every time you look in the mirror and judge yourself, you are building onto that mountain of the subconscious, further validating that computer program, right? Every time, I want you to think about clicking the mouse. Every time you do something that's accumulation of that big underneath triangle, you are adding another snowball on. Every time. So every time you look in the mirror and judge yourself, you're going to continue to hate yourself. Every time you say, I just fail at every diet plan, your mind is going to make sure that you fail. Let me see if I have a thing. Okay. If you continue to loop on these beliefs, you will continue to live this identity. Plain and simple. That's it. It's like basic math. We can't have something different if we're still using the same computer program to make it. It's like having a cookie recipe that you know is going to make sugar cookies, but you think the same recipe is all of a sudden going to make peanut butter cookies. You didn't change any of the ingredients. You didn't change any of the way that you baked it. You just said, I'm actually really feeling peanut butter cookies today, but you're using all the ingredients that make a sugar cookie. You're not doing anything different. You're not thinking any different. You're not baking it any different. You're not doing anything to change it and still expecting a different outcome. It doesn't add up. If you want something different, you have to be something different. You have to be a different version of you that is no longer operating on those old beliefs. But why this is tough, guys, is because it takes a little bit of time to remove these things from our bodies. Okay? So go back to that underneath of the subconscious mind. We have this portion of our brain. I also want to say, guys, if this feels woo at all, this is science. This is scientific, like the physiology of our brains, right? If you research Dr. Joe Dispenza, he has tons of books. I highly recommend the book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. He's going into the science so that your brain can comprehend this. This isn't like woo-woo manifestation and energy, right? This isn't energetic. We have to energetically attract something. No, it's like an actual thing that's going on in our brains. You have this portion of your brain, it's at the tip of your brainstem, called your reticular activating system, your RAS for short. The reticular activating system job is to pick out experiences that validate your belief system. So we all have a thermostat. Okay, let's go into this. We all have this box, we're going to call it our thermostat, of what is possible, what we believe in, what we think is attainable, what we think we're worthy of, right? And we all have different boxes that we live in. That is why there are people out there. That's why there's people out there who could do it. That's why I was able to do it, because I changed my thermostat. That's why there's people out there who are billionaires, but you're over here thinking you can't be a billionaire. Okay, ask yourself this question. Why do you think you can't be a billionaire? Because I don't know, I've never been a billionaire before. Why haven't you been a billionaire before? Because your thermostat is currently operating in this cap that thinks you can only make 60K a year. Your thermostat is not set to the same thermostat that Jeff Bezos is, right? Just like your confidence meter, your confidence thermostat is set at a very different level than J-Lo's, right? Your belief system has like this preset limit. I keep doing this because I want you guys to think about living in a box. Put your hands over your head right now. There's a box that we have to break out. I look like I'm being birthed out of the womb. That's what it is. We have to shatter this limit. It's a limit that we're operating in. That is why when a diet plan comes along, you see the results of these women. That's why when you saw my picture in the beginning, you're like, oh, must be nice for her. Why? Because your inner thermostat is set to a level that doesn't think it's possible. So it's easier to look at me and say, well, fuck that girl. I wish I had a six-pack. I wish I lived in Hawaii. It's easier for your mind to say that than it is to say, well, wait a second. If she could do it, shouldn't that mean that I could do it too? This is the way we need to start thinking. Okay? Everything that we have or don't have in life is because of this inner thermostat and what it is set to. Where does this thermostat come from? It comes from the beliefs and the identity under the surface, okay? Really, right now, guys, just draw this iceberg on your piece of paper and have a line of just the tiny triangle up top and then the big triangle below. You are the way that you are because of everything under the surface. I'm going to check the chat again. This makes so much sense. I've always been somebody who says it's not in the cards for me. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So this is why we self-sabotage, because if our thermostat is currently set to only thinking that we can be consistent for a month at a time, as soon as we start to get close to that limit, so pretend we're down here, we're working out every day, we're loving ourselves, we're doing the things, we're starting to feel really good in our body, we're feeling really good. What happens? The subconscious says, this feels suspicious. I've never felt this good before. I don't know what to expect. I'm almost about to break through the limit. And then what happens? Boom, self-sabotage. Boom, a virus in the computer that blows up everything. Because something about that next level is unknown. We're going to get into upper limits in a second, but does this part make sense? This is really important to understand, guys. You're functioning the way that you are because that's where your preset thermostat is set. Right? This is why sometimes, like, have you ever felt the saying, like, it feels too good to be true? Like things are going too well in life. Well, why the fuck can they not be super, like, why do we question when things are too good to be true? Because our thermostat is set to something always going wrong, to not thinking we can have it all, to not believing we're good enough of having it all, right? This is why lottery winners win a fuck ton of money and then all of a sudden you check in with them 3 months later and they're broke. Because their thermostat was set to thinking they could only have $30,000 at all times. So what do? They sabotage. They got rid of the money. This is why those people go on that Biggest Loser, that weight loss show. And yeah, they crush it because they have a trainer and they have all their things and they lose 100 pounds, 200 pounds. You check in with them months down the road, they gained it all back and more because their thermostat was never adjusted. They were just slapping Band-Aids on the pool instead of going into the pool and identifying why is it leaking in the first place. Where's the limit set at? I have, where's that slide? A good way to think about where your thermostat is looking at my pictures, okay? Do you identify, like when you're looking at these two, do you think you're more like the one on the left or do you think you're more like the one on the right? Consciously, you can, of course, identify with it, but if you are looking at the one on the bottom and thinking, I could never fucking look like that. And once again, guys, this isn't about looks. This isn't about weight loss. It's just an easy way for our brains to make sense of what's going on here. If you're looking at that bottom picture and saying, she's a lucky bitch, it's too good to be true, she got lucky, good for her, it worked for her, but it can't work for me. I'm telling you right now, if you keep thinking that way, you will never have what you want. You won't, because you are doing nothing to release the upper limit and you are doing everything to stay in that limiting loop. You are looking at the girl on the top picture on the left and saying, yeah, I'm like her. Sucks to be her. I can't do it. I don't believe in myself. I can never change. Nothing has ever worked. Casey, I failed every single time. That's what your subconscious wants to say to me. It wants to prove its point. And guess what? Of course you have past experiences to validate that belief. The belief is what created the experiences. Let me go back here. The reticular activating system. So, all right, right now, pretend we all have thermostats set to like 65 degrees right now. 65% believing in ourselves, but the other 35 doesn't. So guess what? We only stay at that happy medium, right? Or we only stay at the making 60K a year, or we only stay with people who like are kind of good to us, but then they're not always good to us. This happens in romantic relationships all the time. If you have a program running on your computer that you aren't worthy of healthy love, as soon as you meet someone who comes into your life and they shower you with love and they're so nice to you and they bring you flowers and they take care of you and they do all the things that they're supposed to do that you deserve. If your thermostat isn't ready for that, it's going to push that person away. It's going to pick fights. It's going to say, fuck you. And it's going to break up with that person because it scared the shit out of your subconscious. It didn't understand what was going on. This is where unconscious conflicts come from. So consciously, okay, are we here? I'm trying to make this as concise as possible, but I realize that it's a lot of fucking information. Is this making sense, guys? Please reach out if it's not, okay? Let me see where I'm at time-wise. Okay, Stay with me. We're going to get through this. Okay. Unconscious conflicts. Even though consciously you want to love your body, you joined this program because consciously you're like, fuck yeah, I'm sick of dieting. I'm sick of the scale. I'm sick of seeing all these people on Instagram who it works for them, but it's not working for me. You're sick of it, right? Consciously, you get it. You're like, Casey, tell me how. But subconsciously, if you have that belief that it is not possible, and if you are furthering that belief by identifying with it, saying, I'm not the kind of person that can do it, looking in the mirror saying, I suck, I'm not good enough, I'm always going to have a tummy, I'm always going to have belly rolls, I can't eat that, I always get bloated. The more you say these things, the more you have that experience. That's what's happening. That is dictating your outer reality. It's an unconscious conflict. Your conscious is on one side, but your unconscious is on the other. They don't mash up. They are fighting. Your conscious mind wants one thing, but your subconscious is screaming, absolutely not. Now, why? Yes, we understand that the tabs are open on the computer, but we could say, well, why not just open a new tab? Why not? Why not just start to tell ourselves a different thing? Okay. Here's the why. Your subconscious mind runs on its function is to keep you safe. Okay. Your subconscious wants to predict and know everything about everything because it can't survive unless it knows what's happening. It needs to know the outcome. It relies on being safe. It's keeping you safe, okay? So anytime something new comes in, even though consciously it can feel exciting, this free training, you're like, oh my God, this girl did it. She's teaching me how to do it. This feels like it's making total fucking sense. Consciously, you're like, I'm ready to hear what she's going to teach me. Subconsciously, your subconscious is like, this bitch is suspicious. She is presenting new information. Consciously, you're excited about that new information, right? But subconsciously, anything that is unknown, okay? Attach these words together. Unknown equals unsafe. Even though consciously, the tip of the iceberg, guys, consciously unknown can be exciting, can be new, it can be flirty, it can be like mysterious. And you're like, ooh, this is fun. Subconsciously, your subconscious is like, fuck that. I don't want to see what's on the other side of the box. I am not sticking around for something that could potentially hurt me. It sees anything that it does not know as a threat. Okay? So weight loss becomes a threat if your subconscious mind has never been able to grasp it. If that program has never been opened on its computer before, it says, I don't understand that. Unsafe, threat, fuck that. Capiche, goodbye, big red X. It says no. Self-love at a conscious level, all of us, how many of us are like, I just want to love myself. I just want to feel confident. I just want to stop caring what other people think of me. But your subconscious is like, I'm not available for that. I don't know how to do that. I don't understand. It doesn't make sense to me because the program has never been opened, okay? And it thinks, well, there's all these fears that come with it. And this is where upper limits come from. All of these things become a threat because they are unfamiliar or unknown and they're unsafe. Why the hell would we do anything that's unsafe? I want you to equate these things as poison to the subconscious, like confidence, even though consciously you're like, I just want to be confident. It would be so fun to feel like J-Lo. Subconsciously, you would think that I just asked your subconscious mind to drink a cup of poison or to stab itself. It doesn't get it. Your mind, instead of thinking about the pros, all it's doing is thinking about the potential fears, the potential threats, and then the past experiences that validate it. So this is the trick here. Your mind, your subconscious, your body cannot realize that these things are no longer a threat. So consciously, you can watch this and say, okay, this is making sense. Just because I failed in the past at that program doesn't mean that has to be my future experience. Your body doesn't live on that conscious timeline though. All it's thinking about is all of the failures. Think about a failure right now in your head. Think about a time you got broken up with and it didn't feel good. Think about a time your parents got disappointed in you. Bring an uncomfy emotion to mind right now. You feel it in your body. Your body has an actual physiological response. Shame, right? Thinking about public speaking, if you're someone who gets nervous with that. Thinking about sharing your deepest, darkest secret with someone. Thinking about singing on stage. Your body like clenches up, right? Your subconscious is functioning to keep your body safe. Okay. So your body can't comprehend that there's no longer a threat there. Even though you're sitting here being like, yeah, I'm going to take these steps. I'm going to try to be confident. I'm going to move my body. All your body is thinking is that in the past you failed. When you think about failure, those same emotions are elicited in the body. And what do? They create the same feedback loop. Anytime we try to do something different than our past, it's unknown, it's unsafe. And anytime we do try to do something different, we're immediately pulled back by that old cycle, the limiting identity loop, because those emotions, we haven't cleared them. They're still living in us. Those past experiences, I'm just bringing to mind when I got made fun of in middle school. There was a group of girls, I wasn't included in something. That fucking hurt. It didn't feel good. I cried a lot. But guess what? Until I did the therapy as an adult and until I processed those emotions and released them with the techniques I'm going to share with you guys, they still lived in me. So that's why I was still walking into a room feeling like I couldn't talk to the girls, because I was so scared of rejection. Consciously, I can understand that I'm a big girl and I can take care of myself, but subconsciously, I saw those girls as a threat because I got burned by girls in the past. Just like with relationships, right? You want to go on a date because that guy was so cute and he was so nice to you, but subconsciously we're like, well, every other guy has fucking left me. So you don't do it. Your past is dictating your future. We have to remove the past. So now, also upper limits. This is where we're going to go into. Yes, you have past experiences dictating your future. Your reticular activating system is looking for these things, looking to make you fail, right? Self-love, weight loss, confidence, all of those things become a threat because you've never been able to achieve them in the past. But you also have these upper limits. There's 4 of them that we're going to talk about that are based in the unknown. So that's also what's keeping you stuck. So, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let's just go over this slide real quick. Consciously, you want it. Subconsciously, you don't think you can have it, because subconsciously, these are the things you're saying to yourself. It can't happen for me. I've always been this way. I've tried everything and nothing works. I always end up failing. I can never stick to anything. I'll just gain the weight back. My mom was this way, so I have to be this way. It happened for my grandparents. Nobody was ever wealthy in my family, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Subconsciously, that's what you're saying. Consciously, you can be like, fuck yeah, I would love to be a millionaire. Subconsciously, your mind would rather jump off a cliff because it does not know what the fuck to do with that money. It's scared it's going to lose it. It's scared it's going to spend it. It's scared the money's going to take advantage of it. It's scared that people are going to want that money from them and they're going to get greedy. It's scared people are going to judge them, etc. That's what these upper limit problems are. Okay. Just let me see. Self-sabotage. I always get 2 weeks in and then I stop. Yep. My mom always hated herself. Yep. Okay. Okay. Let's take a deep breath. We feel good, guys? Okay. So back to the box. Okay. We're in our box, our thermostat, our subconscious mind, all of that, right? As soon as we step out, we come back in. Your subconscious mind pulls you back because there's fear of, like, there's nothing safe about stepping outside of that comfort zone. But why? Let's actually identify it. There are these 4 upper limits, and I am sharing this. This is coined by, his name is Gay Hendricks. He's the author of the book called The Big Leap. Highly recommend reading the book, The Big Leap. It will teach you all that's going on, like actually what's happening with the brain with these upper limits. But fear of failure, that is upper limit number 1 that blocks us. So wanting to do a program like this or really learn about your subconscious mind, if your subconscious has a program open that it's always failed in the past and that failure doesn't feel good, why the heck would it try something? Even if there's a potential to succeed, there's a bigger potential to fail. So your subconscious is going to be like, hell no, I'm not doing that. Fuck that. So it doesn't do it. Right? Or you really want to go out and interview for this job, but you're so scared that you're not going to get it, or you're scared that you're going to fail. So you block yourself from even starting. That is how concerned with safety your subconscious mind is. Even though consciously I can give you the tools and say, what is the worst that can happen? Your subconscious thinks the worst thing that can happen is it literally thinks it's going to die. It thinks it's going to die if it gets rejected. It thinks it's going to die if it gets judged. Consciously, you're a big girl. You can put your big girl panties on and handle this. But subconsciously, your mind is like, fuck to the no. Fear of failure. If you have emotions in your body where you failed in the past, right? Just go back to any time you failed in the past. It didn't feel good, did it? That emotion is still in you. I want you to think about it like a fucking, look, failure. Wait, where's the sticky side? Failure living in me. Okay, so consciously I can be like, yeah, I'm gonna do this and I'm so excited about it. And this sticky note says, not today. You failed in the past. Don't you remember that? And you're like, oh, I do remember. Oh, that didn't feel good. Oh, I never want to do that again. Back into the box. Oh, here comes a man who is so nice to me and he wants to buy me flowers and he wants to take me on a date and he wants to support me and believe in me. Oh, what's that coming up? Oh, the sticky note in the past when you got burned by all those guys that made fun of you and you got burned by those guys that ditched you and you got burned by those people that didn't want to date you. They said you were damaged and all that. So what do? You're like, oh, that didn't feel good. It felt really awful to get broken up with. It felt really awful to get cheated on. It felt really awful to blank, blank, blank. I better stay here where it's safe. Does it make sense, guys? Oh, a program that might help me love my body. Oh, something that might actually make me feel good in my own skin. Just kidding. Remember that time when you tried to go to the gym and work out with that trainer and you didn't have any success and you felt like you were failing and it felt really uncomfortable and you didn't want to do it anymore? And you have tried 1 million diet plans and they never worked. Remember that emotion? You stick to it. It's sticking to you. So it's recreating the same thing in the future. Back to the box we go. Fear of failure is that scary. It blocks you from ever starting. That's upper limit number 1. Upper limit number 2, fear of success. This one trips people up. They're like, of course I would want to be fucking successful. Your subconscious doesn't, because why? What comes with that success? A lot of people equate success with more work. This is the one that I am currently like actively working through the methods I'm going to share with you in a second. To my mind, success, because I don't understand it yet, or in the past, I never really understood it. It equates success with more work. And my subconscious already feels overwhelmed. It already almost feels burnt out. It already doesn't understand how to do its current workload. So how the hell am I going to succeed and be able to handle that workload? Back to the box we go. Back to we go. More emotions looping. Fear of rejection, judgment, shame. Okay. Think about standing up on a stage and giving a speech. The fear of people laughing at you is scary as fuck, right? If I told you had to sing in front of me, what would you say? Be like, oh my God, no, you would make fun of me. Or, oh my God, like, what would people think of me? Putting yourself out there is scary because people can judge you. If you put yourself out there, then you get scared. When I started my business and had to start posting on TikTok, one of my best friends, Kat, she's Miss Excel on TikTok. This was one of hers that she had to like nail right on the head. She dances on TikTok to Excel tricks. Like she teaches Excel and she dances. And by putting herself out there, she went viral in like 4 days, guys. It all of a sudden brought all these fears up of, oh my God, people are going to make fun of me. All these TikTokers are going to make fun of me. What will my family and friends think? Because you're like, that's a normal human fear of rejection, right? Same for me. When I started posting, people comment and they comment mean things. And what happens is it triggers all these old past emotions. They come up and they say, nope, back to the box we go. It does not feel good to be called an idiot on the internet. It does not feel good to have somebody question your prerogative on the internet. But if you want something different, we've got to bust through. Consciously, you're okay. We just got to get your subconscious on board. Last one, fear of outshining others. I had this one all the time growing up. A lot of people with siblings will have this. If there's one sibling who's like, say there's somebody who's really good at sports. If the other sibling isn't good at sports, and then they see that sibling, you know, like mom and dad are always praising you, like, you're so good, you scored a home run, you're amazing. And that other sibling is left in the dust and you see that. And then that sibling resents you, right? And you start to notice that you're like, oh, I got to keep myself small to make that person feel better. I don't want my brother to hate me because I'm doing well in life. So I'm going to keep myself small so that he feels okay too. Okay. I just went all in on all of those. I did not need to explain that, but I hope that's making sense, guys. It's important to understand the stuff going on underneath. Okay. This is why you are the way that you are. This is why you sabotage going to the gym, because results feel scary. What feels scarier than those results is failing to get those results. Guess what? You can't feel those emotions if you never fucking try. So even though it's uncomfortable to hate your body, and even though it's uncomfortable to look in the mirror, it's a known discomfort. You already know how to do it. You've been uncomfortable for the last 20 years. So you're like, you get it. You know what it feels like. But what don't you know what it feels like to succeed? Success, even though you like can dream about it and think it feels so amazing, your subconscious says abso-fucking-lutely not. Why the hell would I do that? I have no idea what to expect. What if I fail? What if people judge me? What if people get mad at me? What if I can't do it? What if I'm not the person who could do it? It's easier to stay here, even if it doesn't feel good, because at least you're used to not feeling good. You're like, I got it. I've already made it this far hating my body. I guess I can keep going. Guys, this whole thing is going to be teaching you how to explode out. If we want something different, we have to like love on this little box and be like, it's okay. Think about it as a little kid. We got to give him a big hug and say, we're putting the seatbelt on and we're going for it. Okay. So are we ready to figure that out? Let me see what we're doing on time. We're at an hour. How are we doing, guys? We got this. Come on. All right. Let's get into it. What do we do about it? We break the identification. We have to break away from the identity, from who we're being, if we want something different. I'm going to teach you how. I understand that you're like, what? How do I do that? You're currently stuck in a limiting identity loop, right? If you're a smoker, you're going to wake up and you know damn well that you are going to have a cigarette tomorrow. If you are somebody who is not confident, you know damn well that you are going to stand at your closet tomorrow and almost cry because you have nothing that you know that feels, you don't have anything to wear, right? If you're somebody who thinks they're unworthy of a relationship, you know that you're going to look at every guy out there and be like, I wish that I could be in a relationship, but I just can't. Because you're focused on that identity. We have to break the identification. If you want something different, but you aren't doing anything about all the shit I just talked about, right? I just went in on our subconscious mind. If you are still thinking that you can just slap a Post-it note on it, it doesn't work that way. We have to do some deep subconscious reprogramming. You cannot get, okay, once again, the pictures don't fucking matter, but you can't get to the picture down there by still thinking like the girl did above. Guess how she got to that bottom picture? She got there by thinking different. She got there by loving the person on top, even though she had previously for the last 20 years woke up and hated that girl. I hated how I looked. But guess what? All that hate kept producing the same body. I got where I am now by love blasting myself, by love bombing who I was, by taking care of myself, by doing this fucking work. Okay? You can do it too, but you've got to stop identifying. Okay, how do we break the loop? Wow, I have a lot of slides here. I've already talked about all this, but I get excited and I get ahead of the slides. All right, so basically we have to go full demo, full construction mode. We have to recognize that these threats are not real in our physical reality. They're very real to the subconscious. We can accept that, but we have to remove the emotions. So go back to those sticky notes that I put on my face, right? We have to get these out of the way, because until they're out of the way, they're continuing to control everything. Here I am with all my limiting beliefs, going out on a first date and wishing that the guy would like me, but in the past I got rejected. So what do? I get rejected. Bye. Okay, starting a new workout program with all of these past times that I failed. I'm really excited to try this new workout program. A week later, this emotion is still bubbling up to the surface and it says, you can't fucking do it. Back to the box we go. Okay, so the first step is removing these emotions. Okay, I'm using the Post-it notes because I literally want you to think about your past experiences still living in you. Your mind can say, no, Casey, you're not 7 years old getting made fun of anymore. Why do you think you're gonna get made fun of in the future? Because that emotion is still living in my heart. It's still living in my body. Right? Okay, so the first thing, we got to get all of these emotions out. Okay, here we go. We got to clear out the old beliefs. We got to demo. We got to swing in like a wrecking ball. We got to get them out of there. If I told you you had to build a skyscraper on top of that burning building in the first picture, is that possible? No, we got to start from scratch. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to get these out of the body. Okay, I'm going to teach you how. I know that sounds silly. I'm going to teach you how. We're going to clear out the old beliefs. So the emotions are living in the body, and then pretend these things are my beliefs living up here. Here, let's do it this way. Okay, ready? Orange highlighters are my thoughts. They're my beliefs as a function of my emotions, my pink Post-it notes. Okay, so we got beliefs, we got emotions. Okay, you cannot become the skyscraper if you're still operating with all your limits, with the identity that you can't fucking do it, and then the thoughts that you, or the emotions that you can't do it because of your past experiences. Guys, I also want you to understand, this is all valid. I understand that you have failed in the past, so of course it feels scary. These are very real thoughts, beliefs, emotions. They're real, okay? That's why we're going to do something about them. We're going to clear them out of the body through subconscious reprogram. We're going to get into that in a second. Then we build the new foundation, okay? So now here comes along new beliefs, and we're going to build them brick by brick to support a foundation that no longer has a limit. It just has an open, it's like a freeway. You can go at 100 miles an hour. We're not going to go 100 because 0 to 100 will scare your subconscious, but you get the picture. No more limits, no more ceiling, no more thermostat that stops at 60 degrees. Open. Okay? Pretend we're rebirthing. Okay? That was weird, but you get the point. And then, now that we have those new beliefs, we just be that version. It just happens. That's how it works. You have these new beliefs to support it because no longer are you having these pink ones that are sabotaging your success. No longer are you having these limiting beliefs flying at you from all angles saying, you can't fucking do that. Stop trying. These are gone. So now you're free to be because we laid the new foundation. Okay? Blue Post-it note time. Are we feeling that? Are we ready to lay the new foundation? Okay? These guys no longer here. Goodbye. Done. Got it? How do we do this? Through conscious and subconscious reprogramming. Are you ready? Okay. This is a two-part thing. Consciously, you're going to actively do the work, and then subconsciously. Conscious level, remember guys, 5%, active control. First of all, you've got to own it, okay? You have to call yourself out and say, what habits am I engaging in right now that are not supportive of my dream life, right? So if I wanted to turn on the radio and play country music, but I automatically hit the rap music button, how the heck do I expect the country music to play? If you want self-love, but you are actively looking in the mirror and saying you are a piece of shit every single day, how do you think self-love is going to come? You're operating on an old belief, expecting a new emotion to occur. Doesn't work like that. We have to start to say blue to get blue. We have to start to say self-love in order to get self-love, okay? Ask yourself right now, how are you speaking to yourself, right? If you want a healthy relationship with your food, but you are constantly calling food good and bad, and you're identifying with diet plans, and you're saying that you can't eat something because you're a piece of shit, you've got to stop. Like plain and simple, this is just about cutting shit out, okay? The way you speak to yourself matters. Consciously, you can do something about this, okay? Get clear on the version of you who loves herself and ask her, how does that version speak to herself? She damn well does not wake up and say mean things to herself every day. The version of you who loves herself is not looking in the mirror, squeezing all of her fluff and thinking that she's not good enough because she's got a little cellulite on her booty, right? Or that her boobies are uneven, or that she has bags under her eyes. She's looking at that and saying, I love myself still. I love myself in spite of those things. That's who I am. And she moves on. She doesn't fixate on it anymore. She just keeps fucking going. The way you speak to yourself matters. So consciously, your homework is you have to practice self-love at a conscious level. You have to actively set a timer. Like you have to write this down on your to-do list, guys. Doesn't feel good, but you have to do it. You've got to look in the mirror. Go over on my Instagram or on my TikTok. I have a mirror work video on there telling you how to do this. There's nothing to it. You set your timer and you look in the mirror and you practice that self-love. Even when it feels hard, even when all of these old emotions start to bubble up, they won't bubble up as much because I'm going to teach you how to get them out. But even when they do, even when you're having a tough body day, and not that you can't have days where you break down. I still have plenty of days where I have bad body image days where I go back to old patterns with food. They creep up. They're not as much as they used to be, but they still come up. But I have to choose how I want to respond. I let myself cry it out, but it no longer keeps me down for weeks at a time. I'm able to move through it in a couple of hours. You have to actively choose it though. And that's why this work is such a mindfuck sometimes, because you have to actually do something about it. This isn't like a snap your fingers, oh my God, life is sunshine and rainbows. No, it's going to suck because it's making you feel this shit. Okay. You have to consciously choose self-love. So your action steps for this, write down positive affirmations or go once again over to my social media. I post affirmations and things to say to yourself all the time. If you need inspo there, go on Pinterest, look up things, like whatever you got to do, but say these things to yourself. Set alarms on your phone to go off. When I did this in the beginning, guys, every single hour I had an alarm going off on my phone telling me that it's time to say something nice to yourself. or it already automatically had an affirmation, because it was really hard for me to think of these things at first because I hated my body. So something would go off that said, like a reminder every hour would say, your weight is the least interesting thing about you. Your belly rolls are beautiful. Your cellulite is normal. Like things to actually start to make me believe it. Okay. Action step number 1 at the conscious level, choose self-love. Set a timer and do it every fucking day, you guys. This isn't oh, I feel like it today. I'm having a good body image day, so I'm going to love myself. No, it's doing it when you don't want to fucking do it. Once again, that's why this work is tough. I am in it right now. I'm in a self-sabotage loop with business stuff, like the body stuff I've got down. I learned it, but it's popping up in other areas of my life, and you just got to own it, right? You just got to say, this is what it is. Old emotions are coming up, but now you have tools to do something about it. Okay. Now the subconscious level. Let's get into it. I just keep looking back because my clock, I can see my clock when I do this. We got this. Okay. Subconscious level. We've got to demolish the old programming. Where are we at? Okay. So what most of us try to do is we try to build the skyscraper when we're still looking. Oh, can you guys see this when I move my cursor? I wonder if you can. You're trying to build the skyscraper on top of the burning building. Doesn't work like that. So we got to reprogram it. So how do we get into the subconscious mind? You guys heard me say, it's got to reprogram, subconscious reprogramming. How? That was my first question, is like, I don't know. I don't get it. What do you mean I don't know where my subconscious mind is. I can't see it. That's why this work, I think, trips a lot of people up, the mindset, because it's not something you can physically look at. Like when it comes to changing your body, you know that if you lift a weight or you go on a run, it's doing something, but the mindset stuff, you can't see it, right? So this feels a little funny, and that's okay. We have tools though. So basically any modality that allows us to kind of switch off our conscious mind and activate. So basically think about your conscious, like pretend in the olden days when they had the castles and they had the moats and they have these guards, they have the soldiers in front of the castle. Okay. Those soldiers in front of the castle are your conscious mind. The castle is your subconscious. The soldier's job is to make sure nobody gets in, right? It's a guarded thing. There's chains on the gate. There's locks. And then you got the guards who are like trained fighters, and they are powing anything that's trying to come into the subconscious, right? We have to give those guards a little bit of a sedative so we can get into the conscious mind. I do not mean a sedative literally. Nobody go out there and take a sedative. I mean that we need to turn the conscious mind off. How do we do this? Lowering our brainwave states. Okay. Once again, go read the book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Just YouTube him talking about it and you'll understand it. But if the guards are still active, they won't let you in. Our job is to go up to the guards and say, hey, we're just gonna go to sleep for a second. I'm gonna give you this little sleeping pill and then we're gonna get in there. Do not take a sleeping pill. I'm just using this as a metaphor. Okay. So tools, emotional freedom technique, rapid resolution therapy, meditation, Kundalini yoga, breathwork. These are the 5 tools that I use on repeat to get into my subconscious, because guess what? I have 1 million soldiers guarding my subconscious mind. All those soldiers, they look at me and they say, yeah, you've failed for the last 20 years, so you're going to keep failing. Okay. You're not allowed to come near the subconscious now. Goodbye. That's what your soldiers are doing. They are telling me to fuck off. Your soldiers are watching this presentation and being like, this bitch. Like, can we just turn it off already? Can you just close the computer already? That's what your conscious, like those soldiers don't want to hear this shit. Okay. But your subconscious, it's very programmable. We just got to get the soldiers out of the way first. Okay. Are we ready to fight? I'm just kidding. Okay. So what are these things? These things. So the first one, emotional freedom technique, which I'm going to run you guys through. This is helping to remove the emotions. Okay. So remember, the pink sticky notes were emotions. If you still are living on this emotion of shame and judgment and guilt and people pleasing and all of that, they live as emotions. We have to get those emotions out if we ever want to experience different, because these emotions are occurring like because of a chemical reaction. Experience happening triggers these chemicals. It comes out as the emotions in the body. So that's why we stay in these loops. The loop of like not believing in yourself comes from really painful past experiences of failure, of thinking you can't be that kind of person. And we get so identified with it, but it's really just as simple as removing the emotion. The emotion is what's getting triggered here. Something happens. Normally it could go right through a person, but if you're somebody who has trauma or a past experience that doesn't feel good, it hits that emotion and it bounces right off and it hurts. Okay. So we block it. If we remove these though, we're free to kind of move through life, right? So that's what emotional freedom technique does, is it gets rid of these. Rapid resolution therapy, similar. We're getting the soldiers out of the way and we're identifying that belief in there. We're quieting the conscious and we're telling the subconscious what to think instead. Okay, we're going to run through that as well. Meditation. I know everybody wants to say, I can't meditate. I can't quiet my mind. Soldiers, shh. Okay, I know that you haven't quieted your mind in your past, but there are hundreds of different kinds of meditation. Guided meditation. Like, you don't just have to sit there in silence and think about a pencil. That's not how meditation works. It can, but guided meditation, listening to these. This is like what hypnosis is. It's telling your mind what to think. Your subconscious, guys, it's extremely programmable. Okay, in a good way. Yes, it feels like in a bad way because it's making you feel like you're a failure, but it's also it can be programmed to think about success. It can be programmed to think it can do hard things. We just have to get the soldiers out of the way. Kundalini yoga and breath work. We're going to go into those. Those I teach more in my signature program. I don't have time to explain all of those today, but those tools changed the game for me. They change your psyche. They change how your body feels and experiences your reality. It's incredible shit. But let's run through an RRT and an EFT real quick. Okay. I need to stop the share really fast. I'm back. You guys can see me. So we're going to run through an RRT script. So rapid resolution therapy. Guys, I gotta wrap this up. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm keeping you guys for a long time. All right, rapid resolution therapy. We are quieting the conscious and we're getting into the subconscious. So your goal, while I'm speaking, you are going to count. You're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When you hit 10, you're going to come back to the beginning, but then you're going to start at 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, or 5, 6, 6, 6, 7. Like, you just keep going up. Once you hit 8, 9, 10, 9, 10, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and down the line. The reason you're doing this is because your soldier is going to be occupied by the counting, while I am going to say something that's going to reach your subconscious, because the soldier is distracted. So me speaking is going to go directly into your brain. Okay. So all you have to do right now is you're going to count. You're going to use this script. I'm going to cut it out, the audio of this masterclass, so you can just hit play, and you're going to do it every single day, twice a day if you can. Okay. This is a way to start to prime your subconscious to release those old beliefs. Where are my orange highlighters? Oh, I threw them. So we're not thinking about it anymore. It's going to remove those orange highlighters the more we say these things. Okay. Because like I said, your subconscious, extremely programmable. We just got to get the soldiers out of the way. So we're going to get the soldiers out of the way right now. But remember, those soldiers can wake up after the battle and they can still continue to be there. That's why this stuff is effective over time. It's a compound effect. It's not a one and done. It's a compound. So you got to keep saying this stuff. So I want you to make up yourself a promise that you're going to keep doing this. Okay. You have a why. You're here for a reason. So let's make it happen. Okay. Are you ready? You guys ready to count? You can close your eyes too if you want. Count. If my volume is louder than you're counting, turn the volume down just a little bit. You've got to be able to hear what I'm saying, but I want you to speak louder. Okay, you ready? As soon as I start speaking, you count 1 to 10, 2 to 10, 3 to 10, so forth. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. I've been feeling like I'm the kind of person that doesn't have what it takes to become confident and love her body. Losing weight feels impossible and loving my body feels hard. It's felt like I haven't grown or made the changes necessary to become this person. It's felt like I can't stay consistent enough or figure out how to do what it takes. There's been a belief weighing me down that it will never happen for me. In spite of that, I am free, clear, and choosing to connect with the unlimited power that lives within me. I'm choosing to remember that I am worthy regardless of what my body looks like. I'm choosing to remember how inherently worthy and powerful I am. I feel excited at the thought of showing up as my most confident self. I'm the kind of person who has complete food freedom and can eat whatever she wants when she wants it without gaining weight. I'm the kind of person who stays consistent with her daily movement because it makes her feel good in her own skin. Loving my body and feeling free to be safe in my body is so exciting to me. I love looking in the mirror and reminding myself of who the fuck I am. I love walking into a room and focusing on me and my energy. I always feel like I'm good enough regardless of the number on the scale. My body is the least interesting thing about me. Life is so fun now that I've let go of how my body looks and I instead focus on how good I feel. I love my confident, radiant, lucky, expansive self. Done. Okay, guys, that took 60 seconds. That's it. You can do that throughout the day. And that is one way to start to remove those beliefs. Okay, so we're at the step 1, we're doing the demolishing, right? This is how you do it. You have to, but like, just like one wrecking ball doesn't bring down the whole castle, we have to start by doing this a little bit every day. Little wrecking balls throughout the day. That's what the RRT does for us. Okay. And now we're going to run through an EFT tapping script. A lot of people feel resistant to EFT because it seems woo-woo. They don't understand it. Once again, guys, pink Post-it notes living in our body, right? If these continue to loop here, you will continue to experience the same thing. You are going to tap where I tap. The reason we're tapping on these spots, this is Western medicine, kind of going along with how we have acupuncture points. These are points in our bodies where these emotions are said to be stored. Once again, your conscious mind, your soldiers are like, what? What did she just say? Just go with it, okay? Try to be open to this. It works. So when you tap and you say what I'm saying, it's eliciting the emotion, but then by tapping it, you're releasing it. The words are bringing it up in your body, and then the spots that you're tapping on, release it, okay? We're going to run through this tapping video. So once again, you're going to repeat after me, and you're just going to follow along where I'm tapping. So I'm going to tap here, 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 and here. Just follow along. You'll get it. I promise. Just do what I do. Say what I say. This is going to be about a 5-minute tapping video. Oh, maybe I should do this afterwards. I want to have enough time to share with this stuff with you guys. Let me see in the chat. Do we want to do it? Or do you want to do it after? Oh, okay. We want to do it. Let's just freaking do it. Let's do it. We're doing it. We're making moves. We're taking action. Okay. All right. Are we ready? So now this is also something you can do 1 5-minute video a day. I know it feels like a lot. It's not. Okay. In the grand scheme of things, you have 24 hours in a day. You can take 5 minutes to work on demolishing the old programs. Because guys, here's the other thing. What the fuck is the alternative? The alternative is for you to continue to look in the mirror and judge and shame and not believe in yourself and think that you're a piece of garbage and never be productive, to fail at literally everything you try in the future. Wouldn't it be easier to do something, even though it requires a little bit of work, if you knew it was going to be effective? That's what this does for us. Okay. All right. I'm getting in on this. Okay. Let me just move. All right. Are you ready? So just start tapping right here. Okay. Even though I sometimes doubt myself, I choose to love and accept myself anyway. And you're repeating after me, okay? Even though I doubt who I am, I choose to love and honor myself anyway. Even though I doubt what I'm capable of, I sometimes question my potential. I think, yeah, right. Who am I to do this? To think that I'm the kind of person. Even though I have all this self-doubt, I choose to deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. And anyone else who contributes to this doubt. All this self-doubt, all this need to question who I am, all these questions about if I'm capable, these questions about whether I think I can actually do it, these questions saying, can I actually be that person? These beliefs of who do I think I am? I'm clearing these beliefs right now. Clearing them all the way back through my past. Clearing them at a cellular level so that I can remember who I really am. And remember what I'm actually capable of. Because who I am is powerful. Who I am is strong. She is a force to be reckoned with just as much potential to achieve her dreams as anybody else. I can choose to believe in myself. I can choose to achieve my fullest potential. And why not me? Other people can do it, so why not me? I'm clearing all my doubts that I can't do it. Clearing these doubts at a cellular level. all this fear of believing in myself, I know it's just trying to protect me. Trying to keep me safe from the discomfort I might face. The discomfort if I allow myself to have big dreams and goals. If I actually allow myself to go for it. And I really love and appreciate that part of me. Because it's doing its job trying to keep me safe. But I'm allowing that part to open its heart and change its mind. Setting myself free to be the confident version of me. Setting myself free to take the necessary action. I'm choosing to believe in myself and believe in my power. So that I can truly have it all. So that I can be that confident girl who I know I am. So I can love my body no matter what the scale says. So that I can eat the food that I want to eat. So that I can live the life that I want to live. Without shame or judgment. Without fear of what others think. Living how I want to live and enjoying the process. In body, mind, and spirit. Go ahead and take a deep breath. And out. All right, guys, how do we feel? So EFT is so powerful. If you noticed yourself yawning, coughing, laughing, tearing up, or crying, those are all signs that your body is releasing. When I first did EFT, I just could not stop yawning. It's because your body is actually getting those Post-its out. It's allowing it to remove those little emotions here and there by through baby steps. Okay, let me reshare my screen here. EFT is so freaking beneficial to us. Oh no, where's my slides? Oh no. Hold on, bear with me. We got to restart the presentation. I don't know where it freaking went. I got too excited. Present full screen. Sorry guys, hold. Okay. So that is something to do. You will get this video. You can also go on YouTube and type in Tap with Brad. He is one of the best freaking EFT practitioners. He has a video on literally everything. How you feel about food, sleep insomnia, your relationship with your mother, inner child healing, confidence, like anything you can think of, type in Tap with Brad and he will have a video on it. Tapping is allowing you to release these things. So daily, we have to do the subconscious and reprogramming, guys. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Okay? I mean that. These beliefs do not go away by just sitting there and saying, hey guys, can you just get out of here? They don't. Those guards in front of the castle are too fucking strong. They are too committed to keeping you safe and keeping you where you are. Let me hide these controls again. They don't let you advance. They just don't. Okay? So I'm telling you right now, the next 3 months are going to look exactly like the last 3 months if you do not do anything about changing your behaviors, changing your beliefs, and changing the emotions that are looping. I'm telling you, it just is what it is. Think about the last 3 months of your life, right? Have you done anything about it? So I want you to go back to your why in the beginning. You watched this free training for a reason. You showed up for a reason. I asked you to close your eyes and think about that person you want to be. Do you still feel like it's not possible, or does this information make you think, holy shit, what if I could quiet those guards for just a second and think about something differently, right? What if I could get there? It really is as simple as going back to, where's it at? This. I know it sounds like so tough because you've never done it and never been successful with it, but it's because we've never cleared out the old beliefs. We're trying to bypass, usually we're trying to skip that step and just build the skyscraper, but you're trying to build the skyscraper on a foundation that doesn't think it can be a skyscraper, right? You're trying to tell yourself that you can be confident on a mountain of beliefs that you're still the inner child who feels rejected and unworthy and judged. You can't be confident if those beliefs are still what's controlling your entire reality. You can't lose weight if you still think that you are going to fail because every time you failed in the past. It's a loop. The loop will keep on looping until you break it. Okay? So we have to remove those blocks. And picture living a completely different life 3 months from now. If you did that RRT and that EFT every single day, guys, and I can't make you do it. You've got to be the one to do it. Your life would be different. You would be changing these things at a subconscious level. That is where I come in. That is what I can help you with. This is where the Body Love comes in. The Body Love method is a 3-month-long course that is actually teaching you how to do these things. I gave you 2 tools right here, the RRT and the EFT. But what if you had an army to fight those 2 little soldiers? Pretend you got 2 soldiers guarding your subconscious. What if you were able to throw an entire army at them to get them out of the way, to reprogram that subconscious? That's what you get inside the Body Love method. You get that desired reality because you get support. I'm going to say it again, even though I'm a broken record. Nothing changes if nothing changes. The next 3 months are going to go by and you are going to be the same person you were for the last 3 months unless you do something different. I am not shaming you into doing something different. All I'm saying is that goal that you had in the beginning, the why, wanting to love yourself, wanting to ditch yo-yo dieting, being sick of looking in the mirror and judging yourself, being sick of never feeling confident with your food choices, never like being sick of going into a dressing room and hating what you see, feeling like you have no clothes in the closet, comparing yourself to other people. Are we fucking done with that yet? Right? If you want that, I'm telling you it's possible. You saw the pictures. I'm not special, right? I didn't get lucky. I did something about it. I made it happen for myself and you guys can too. You just got to do something different. And that's why I'm giving you a foolproof method that already has it laid out for you. So you don't have to read all the books and learn all the things on your own. I learned it for you. I experimented with myself. And now I'm living in Hawaii, living my dream fucking life, married to the love of my life, building the business of my dreams, all of things that I thought were impossible because I got those soldiers out of the way and I changed who I was being. I believe in it now. And you guys can too. I'm teaching you how. So I'm just going to go over the course really quick. You're going to get a bonus if you stay to the end for joining this free training. It's an online course. You get modules. So you can see here, weekly video training. So kind of like this, teaching you the why. It's helpful to know why we are the way that we are, teaching you self-love, but then you're going to get the action steps, which is what makes the difference, right? We can learn everything in the world, but if we don't do anything with that information, just like this, you came to this free training and it's incredible that you learned. But if you don't ever do anything about what I just taught you, your life will not change. And that is a hard truth for a lot of us. Like, we don't like to hear that. We want the quick fix. Those soldiers, they just want to pop a pill and feel great and then like move on. No, we've got to restore the castle. We've got to rebuild the castle. This program teaches you how to do it. It lays it out step by freaking step. It gives you the action steps. It gives you the meditations already pre-recorded. It gives you the EFT tapping videos. It gives you the RRT. It teaches you about Kundalini. It does all those things. All you have to do is press play and do it. Okay? So there's a private Facebook group with support. There's an option to work on with me one-on-one if you want to be a VIP. Exercises and action steps, that's what makes the difference. I'm just going to show you this real quick. You can take a picture with your phone, or if you go to my website, you can see the entire course. Phase 1 is the foundations, kind of what we just talked about, your identity, your shame, your shadows, self-sabotage, softening your resistance, the illusion of separation, personal responsibility. It's going in on why you don't love your body, really talking about the subconscious here, your past experiences. This masterclass, this free training that you're in right now was great, but I barely scratched the surface of that iceberg. It's so deep. That's what you're going to get in phase 1. Phase 2 is the love bomb. If you go through phase 2 and don't think that you love yourself at the end of it, I will give you free sessions with me, because like it's impossible to go through these and not think that you're the main character of your own life and that you get to love yourself and that you're good enough just as you are. You gotta believe that. You've got to remember that you didn't come to this planet feeling unworthy. You were taught to feel that. And that's what I go in on phase 2. Loving your body before you lose the weight, loving yourself before you change, remembering that you're good enough just as you are. Imagine waking up in the mirror and actually having positive self-talk for yourself. Like, what would that feel like if you got to wake up and love who you are? Doesn't that feel freaking amazing? That's possible for you. You just got to do it. And I love bomb you throughout the entire phase 2 so that you can learn how. Phase 3, writing your new story. This is building the new skyscraper. I didn't really go into this too much. We were really talking about getting rid of the old identity in this free training. But there is that second phase of building the new identity. You have to write your new experience. You have to teach your subconscious what it wants. You have to show your reticular activating system, this is who I am now. Give me these experiences. Okay. That's what this one really goes into. We didn't talk about that too much. You can do it right now by thinking, who do you want to be? What if you were that confident girl who loved her life and had the money and had the boy and had the blank, 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 like whatever you want, doesn't matter. How would you be? Right? This is obviously way deeper than this, but that's what we do in phase 3. It's one of my favorite ones because it's so fun. You get to imagine it and then you get to be it. Phase 4. This one is really important because I think a lot of programs don't talk about this. Healing your relationship with diet and exercise, talking about food freedom, actually understanding nutrition, because while I do not count macros or calories anymore, I think it's still really important to understand food and its purposes and what it does to your body. It's empowering to know that. The other part that's huge in here is hormone health and cycle tracking. As women, did you know that there's certain ways that we can move our bodies and eat food during each phase of our cycle to optimize how you feel? Did you know that when you're on your period, the best exercise for you is not HIIT training and running? That actually does more damage to your body, right? We aren't taught about this. That's what I teach you about hormone health and cycle tracking. It's so freaking important. When I started doing cycle syncing workouts versus doing freaking like CrossFit style cardio, crazy workouts every day, my body also lost weight because I wasn't sending it into a fight or flight hormone response all the time. Okay. We talk about food and exercise myths. We talk about body positivity. I teach you how to ditch the scale, all of the things. This is a very fun module. People usually want to go straight to this one when they join. It's great. It's fun. It's bringing like a little bit of really feeling empowered with your body in this phase. Then the resource library. This is absolutely the best part. This is where you're getting a full Kundalini yoga practice. You're getting an EFT practice. You're getting breath work. You're understanding the RRT. You're understanding all of these things because these actions are what's necessary. When I did Kundalini every single day, back when I first started my body love journey, the anxiety slowly started to go away. I was doing minimal effort here, guys, like 5 minutes a day. That's what this resource library gives you. You don't have to look these things up. I give them to you. I lead you through the guided hypnosis, the guided meditation. I get the soldiers out of the way. All you have to do is push play. That's what's available in the resource library. This course is jam-packed. You can, once again, these are just like a snippet. If you go to the website, if you want to peek inside the course, I can send that to you as well. But it's an active, it's the act of you doing something different. Right? Just like you go to school and you actually have to take tests and take practicals and learn the information and put them into effect. That's what this does. And by doing that, you're doing something different. So your mind is going to start to experience life differently. You're telling it to, you're saying, I'm the kind of person who's going to learn this. I'm the kind of person who's going to make it happen for myself. That's what this course does. So going back to that why in the beginning, if you want something different, what are you going to do about it? Okay. And I do want to bring this slide up again because I was there. Guys, I didn't believe I could do it. Okay. That girl over there wasn't just like, oh yeah, I can do it. I love myself. It's no big deal. She didn't. I had to actively do that shit on a daily basis to heal. My mind was still operating from I've always been this way, so I can't change. Why me? There's no way in hell I can do this. That girl is just lucky that she's skinny. Oh, I wish I could be like that. How many of you are looking at that picture on the right, that girl sitting on the beach, all happy over there, and you're like, she's just lucky. I wish. Must be nice. If your conscious mind is still saying that, I'm telling you right now, you will never love your body. As long as those beliefs are in place, you will never feel confident. And I'm not saying never in like a mean, tough love way. I'm just being so blankly honest. These are controlling you. Do you really want to keep living controlled by those limits? That's what I ask myself is like, you're not even functioning in a fraction of your empowerment of who you are, of who your soul is, because you've got all of these beliefs blocking you, right? You just got to get them out of the way. Okay? Because if you don't, you will continue to stay in the toxic loop. You will continue to stay there. If you want something different, you have to do something different. I just taught you all about that. Once I addressed my mind, instead of just throwing another workout program at myself, instead of telling myself I had to do intermittent fasting and I had to work out for 2 hours a day and shame myself and all that shit, fuck that. Guys, it's exhausting. It's exhausting. You do not have to do it anymore. Let me check in with the chat. Are we with me? Like, do you want to feel good in your own skin? Do you want to walk into a restaurant and feel freedom to eat the pizza and have a beer and not think that you have to work out crazy the next day? What about going into Target and being able to buy the clothes and go in the dressing room and have fun instead of dreading it, right? What about going to the beach and feeling confident in your bathing suit versus keeping a towel wrapped around yourself and not eating food the entire freaking day? Living life. That's what this is all about. Guys, this isn't about weight loss. This is about your quality of life. And I'm telling you right now, you will continue to judge and shame and criticize and feel bad about yourself until you do something about it. I am here for you. I'm giving you something. This slide, I'm not going to go through all these. These are women who have gone through the body love method, talking about shopping for the first time and feeling confident in the dressing room without even losing weight, not even weighing themselves, but having fun in the dressing room because they no longer cared what the fuck they looked like, right? Lexi says it may feel small, but when I looked in the mirror for the first time in years, I was actually able to speak kindness to myself versus the judgment and the shame and the negative self-talk. Guys, imagine that. What if you didn't have to be mean to yourself every day, right? And then the last one, I love this one. Oh my God, I got something in my eye. My husband and I went out for dinner this weekend, and it was the first time that I didn't stress about counting calories or how I was going to have to work out in order to burn it off. Guys, imagine going out for pizza and beer, and the best part, not feeling guilty about it. And I woke up the next morning feeling good. I never thought I would find food freedom. This is teaching me so much more than that. This gets to be you. Stop letting those soldiers say must be nice. It worked for them, but it's no way it's going to work for me. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. We're approaching almost 2 hours because I can't stop talking, but let's wrap this up. Why are you here? Okay, you stayed till the end. If you're still watching, you stayed here for a reason, right? Option one, you stay the same. That's it. The next 3 months will be exactly what the last 3 months were if you don't do anything different. And that is not to judge or shame. I'm just like putting all the cards on the table here. You're going to continue to judge your body. You will continue to shame yourself on repeat every single day, just like Groundhog Day. Because you're not clearing these things out. These will continue to affect you guys. I'm telling you right now, until we soften these and get them out, they're controlling everything. They just are. You're going to keep repeating those patterns. It's just how it is. You're going to keep experiencing the same reality until you soften those blocks. That's option number one. That's how you function. But here's the thing. Your subconscious is like kind of okay with that because it's used to it. It knows it. It knows that it can handle the judgment and the shame. It doesn't feel good consciously, but hey, you're used to it. Or you can break the patterns and do something about it, right? I want you to go back to that why in the beginning. And I'm only saying this because I stayed in those pre-pictures. Nothing was wrong with the picture, guys. It's more of the mindset that girl had, hating myself, judging myself. I was sick of being mean to myself, right? I couldn't handle it anymore. I was a mean girl to me. Do you want to keep doing that? For those of you who have little kids out there, do you want them? Think about, even if you don't have kids, if you did have a daughter, would you want her to speak to herself that way? You are so much better than that. You deserve so much more than that. You are worthy of self-love. You are worthy of feeling confident in your body, regardless of the number on the scale. You are worthy of remembering that your weight is the least fucking thing interesting about you. Who cares? Imagine loving yourself despite that. Imagine feeling confident in the clothes you are wearing, no matter what the size on the back said. It's mindset work, though. We have to do it. You have to do something different. So if you are ready for that self-love in your current body, confidence, main character energy, no more comparing yourself to other people, no more worrying about what other people think of you because of what you're wearing, right? Empowerment, belief in yourself, feeling like you can do it. Actually believing that you can do it is a fucking flex, okay? That is a good feeling because I guarantee 90% of us don't think that's possible. Imagine if you did. Imagine if you freaking did. Food freedom, being able to eat whatever you want when you want, not feeling like you're going to binge the chips that are in the pantry. I used to be able to eat an entire peanut butter jar in one sitting because of how I would binge, right? Feeling guilty for eating potato chips in bed, feeling guilty for eating chips in general. What if you had food freedom? What if you didn't judge the brownie that was on the table and fight with yourself in your head? Should I eat it? Should I not eat it? Should I eat it? Is that piece of pizza worth it? Is it worth it that I have to do an hour of cardio the next day? Fuck that. That is not fun. That is no way to live, in my opinion. I was done with that. I changed it. You can change it too. You have the power to live your dream life, to live as that confident girl if that's who you desire to be. If you want to love your body, you have to do something about it. I gave you something to do about it. You have the body love method. It is 3 months long, guys. It's only $4.97. $4.97 to change your entire life. You probably spend at least $100 going out to dinner on the weekends or $200 on your hair, right? You're doing something about this. What about something? And also, guys, this doesn't just apply to your body. You can take the methods that you're going to use for everything in your life. If you're struggling in your love life and you want a healthy relationship, we've got to clear out those beliefs. If you want to make more money, if you want to believe that there's a job out there for you, but these beliefs tell you there aren't, it applies to everything. It's not just how you feel in your body. It changes your entire quality of life. It's only $497. There's a payment plan available too. If you guys want that, you can message me. Also, that I'm including in this is the Boundary Boss Masterclass, because we know how important boundaries are. What if no was a complete sentence for you? What if you felt okay about doing this program without having to explain yourself to other people? And like, what if you just felt so confident in setting those boundaries and no longer taking shit from other people? I included that because I felt like that really went hand in hand. Doing this kind of work is being able to set boundaries and no longer letting people pull your energy. All this to say, special training price, $497. Guys, less than $500 for a 3-month thing. You get all of these free resources. You get, I don't even think I mentioned the weekly journal prompts. You're getting prompts to actually put this information into effect. The meditations, the EFT tapping, the RRT, the breath work, the Kundalini, all of it. You get it forever, for life. It's not like 3 months and then poof, it's gone. You get to do this at your own time. You get to make this happen for $500. And I'm just putting it into perspective because I think sometimes we don't invest in ourselves or something like this because it's unknown. But when I changed, because I never invested in coaches, I was like, I'm not affording that. But then I would go to Marshall's and spend $100 on clothes. Or I would go out to eat with my husband. Or this was the one that put it in perspective with me, going out for drinks with my friends, casual drinks. But then you buy a round of shots for people. And then you buy everybody a beer. The tab's almost $100 for an hour or two out at night. Put it in perspective. And this is not me telling you that you have to do this program. I just go back to your why. If you want it, it's here. It's here for you. Okay. You just, once again, you have these two options. Stay the same, which is if you're staying the same, that's what I want to make clear, guys. There's no judgment. There's no judgment. It's okay to be where you're at. That's the part of shadow work that gets tricky, is I think people still will feel that shame. You don't have to feel that shame. I just want to make it clear that you're going to continue to experience that discomfort unless you do something about it. $497. You're here for a reason. What are you waiting for? There's never going to be a right time. I think that's the other misconception. I'm kind of feeling that in my business right now. Like, oh, maybe once I do this, because I'm signing up for a huge investment with this coach right now. And I'm like, maybe after I work with that coach, I will like finally feel ready to do this next thing in my business. You got to jump, right? There's never going to be a perfect time. Your subconscious mind is the one trying to push it off. The next 3 months are going to go by anyway. They're going to go by. And I'm telling you right now, I'm rubbing my crystal ball and I'm telling you the next 3 months are going to be exactly like the last 3 months if you don't do something about it. Not that there's shame in staying the same, but if you want something different, this course, and not just this course, guys, anything. If you just go on YouTube every day and do a tapping video, will change your life. All I'm asking is that you do something different. If you don't, nothing will change. Okay? If you're ready to love yourself, if you're ready for that confidence, if you're ready for food freedom, if you're ready to be done with the self-sabotage and like actually understand how to make that happen, you're done with the yo-yo dieting, up and down and every new program and it never fucking working. I'm here for you. Okay? The Body Love Method is here for you. We have the results. If you want to talk to a student who's already gone through it, we can make that happen too. Let me know. You saw it work in my life. That's what changed. No amount of, I don't work out. I don't eat crazy, or not that I don't work out. I don't work out like I did before. At-home workouts, quick, simple, easy, fun. I eat pizza. I eat macaroni and cheese. And I also still have nutrient-dense foods all the time because I feel good with balance. Okay, I'm going to stop. That's what I have for you. I'm here for you. If you stuck around this long, amazing. I'm so excited to have you here. I'm going to check the chat. Oh, actually, let me drop the link in the chat. You guys. Okay. There it is for the Body Love Method. If you guys are catching this as a replay, because this is going to be a replay training, you guys, it should be below where you can click to join in the Body Love Method. That's the other thing. You get instant access. This isn't something you have to wait for. It's not launching anytime like in the future. It's right now. As soon as you sign up, you get access to all the modules, the journal prompts, the Kundalini, if you're ready for that. If you want to learn about breath work, if you want to learn about all of those things, they're there. You can start doing it right now. The cycle syncing, all of that in the resource library. It's available to you as soon as you want. Okay. Message me once again. My Instagram is Casey, C-A-S-E-Y, Rose Coaching, Casey Rose Coaching. I'm on TikTok at the Body Love Method. I share tons of free content, free tips, free tricks, self-love hacks, confidence hacks, all of that over there. If you're not ready to make the investment, all I ask is that you just be open to doing something for you. You're worthy of it. You deserve it. You get to make yourself the priority. And that's the other thing. Nobody else is going to do it but you. Okay. I'm sending you so much love. This was so much fun. This is my most favorite training I've done to date. You've got this. Go out there and do it. And just above all else, please remember that you are more than your body. If you really are struggling with your body, which is why there's an entire phase on self-love and loving the skin you're in, guys, it doesn't matter. The scale, the number, like the size clothing you wear, you are so much more than your body. Okay. And you don't have to carry that shame around with you. You don't. I know it's looping because of these, but please just remember for me that you are so worthy. You didn't come onto this planet judging yourself. You didn't come here hating yourself or comparing yourself to other people. You were taught. The fucking societal standards of beauty taught you to feel that way. It's not who you are. You're so much more than that. Okay. I see you. I love you. I'm here for you. Message me if you need support, whatever I can do to support you, because I promise it's worth it being on the other side now and really like for the hell of it kind of thing. Like it's worth it. Okay. Thank you guys for being here. Connect with me and I wish you luck. Let's go. I'm rooting for you. And now I got to figure out how to end this. Okay. Goodbye, guys.